All right, everybody, welcome back to another week. This is going to be a special edition of the KG Flow podcast. I have two guests this time from previous season one and from earlier season two. I have Nello and Andrew back. Welcome, boys.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. So, usually we start off the podcast with a serious issue, but today, sorry to disappoint some listeners, but this week we're strictly going to just talk about football, aka especially for Super Bowl weekend coming up. Just a quick shout out about it's Black History Month. It's February, and some people as what might as well know that actor Carl Weathers passed away recently, and he was a legend. Apollo Creed, man, rest in peace. I also loved him in Happy Gilmore, but I know he's gonna be remembered and gonna be a great legend, and so I had to give him a quick shout out. All right, so gentlemen, welcome to Super Bowl 58, correct?
58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a rematch from 2020. For those who don't know, Andrew's a big Chiefs fan, Chiefs Kingdom, and Nello is a great fellow fan for the 49ers. Just ask him. He's got the logo tattooed on his arm. That's how dedicated he is.
Right
So,
there.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
all right. So I'll start with you, Andrew. If the Chiefs win this year, do you think this dynasty is better than both the Brady's, like his early 2000s and like the late 2010s? Do you think if they win this year, their dynasty is better than those two?
I wouldn't say it's quite at that point yet. I know Brady had two periods where they kind of split the Patriots run into two separate dynasties, but they were still going to Super Bowls in between uh, 2004 and 2014. They lost, obviously, in '07 to the Giants, and I believe in 2011 to the Giants again. So they were always kind of right there. I will say what the Chiefs are doing right now, where they're going to, this is going to be their fourth Super Bowl in 5 years and possibly their third win in the last that in that same number of time. To go back to back, which hasn't been done since 2003, 2004, and set the door, like keep the door open for a possible three-peat. If they get that three-peat, if they win, obviously this weekend and are able to go back next year and have a chance at a three-peat, I would say that would be like the pinnacle of what any team in the NFL has ever done because it's never been done before. A team winning three in a row.
All right. Yeah, because I've seen all over like the ESPN and all the sports channels saying that like now that like they've been comparing Mahomes to Brady recently and how their stats follow up. Patrick Mahomes has a slight edge with wins and all that. And but in my opinion, I'm not a big Brady fan, but I do respect him. But I personally believe that Mahomes definitely has. I feel like he definitely is a way better quarterback, and he'll eventually be the GOAT down the end of his road.
Yeah, at this point in his career, Mahomes has done more than Brady did at this point in his career. And I would say, as far as GOAT talk goes, it's still premature to put Pat in there. Like, I appreciate people already asking the question, which tells you how good he is. But I know that the number of rings has a lot to do with it. But just going off the eye test, comparing what you see, what Mahomes can do and what Brady was able to do, I would say Mahomes is definitely a more talented quarterback. But as far as GOAT, I'll still give it to Brady and leave Mahomes a few more years to see if he can get to that level.
All right, there you
Couple
go.
more
Matt,
decades.
yeah.
I mean, this is Super Bowl trip number 4 in his 6 years as a starter, and you average that out. If he plays another 12 years, which I believe he could do, he could definitely catch Brady over the course of another 12 years at this
Yeah.
pace that he's on right now.
Yeah.
All right,
If he keeps it up the pace. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So Nello, I actually got this intriguing thought right before the podcast.
Let's hear it.
Brock Purdy
Hmm.
came in for an injured starter, right?
Right.
All he's done since he became a starter has just been win a lot of games, right?
Right.
So you know who else did that?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, no,
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
I know.
So,
Drew
so
Bledsoe. I love the Drew Bledsoe, Jimmy Garoppolo. Are we comparing those guys? Or are we
So
comparing Tom Brady and Brock Purdy?
so that's what I'm saying. Like, who knows? Maybe Brock Purdy this year could be like, hey, he was drafted late rounds. Brady was drafted in late rounds. Who knows? Maybe Purdy's the next Brady. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I like him better than Jimmy G ever was with the
Oh yeah.
Niners. So
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying, Andrew. Like this, obviously this year compared back to 2020, it's not the same. Purdy's a way better quarterback. Um, so I feel like don't smirk. So I feel like this will be a better matchup than 4 years ago. But Nell, you take it. What do you think?
Yeah. So just talk a little bit or expand more on that thought. I heard something pretty interesting the other day. It was basically connecting the greatest show on turf to the 49ers through Tom Brady. So 2001, right? They did the Super Bowl. Brady beat the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and then that whole stretch, about 2 decades, where Tom Brady was just taking over the whole league, right? And then you get his last season and Brock Purdy's first start. He beats Tom Brady. So he's like basically grabbing that guide on from Kirk, from the Rams, greatest show on turf, taking it here. And then, you connect the dots. Tom Brady's the GOAT, passes it on to Brock Purdy. I think it's true, I think it's true.
Yeah, and then I do. So here's my thing with Brock. I like Brock. I'm a fan of him. The only thing I don't like is how like um he um he gets like both criticism, like positive and negative, and I think he's more than just a game manager, and then
Yeah.
you have people like Cam Newton saying like he is, and I'm like, Cam, you're not even in the league, like, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know I sounded, very bullish on Purdy. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's, the GOAT. I don't think he's MVP. I think he's, top 10, maybe at times top 5 quarterback. The system helps. I just call him a game manager is a little stupid, I would say, if recently watched the playoffs and watched his, 2 comebacks, very Joe Montana, Tom Brady esque.
He,
So
he
I
yeah,
just,
he did have the most passing yards for the Niners franchise this year, which is ridiculous if you think about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Now, new kind of NFL, new rules, less defense. So, but yeah, still very impressive. Yeah.
Mm. Andrew, what are your opinions about Brock?
He's definitely made the most of the talent around him. So I do think that this 49ers team is better than the one the Chiefs played in 2019, just because I think they're a stronger team on both sides of the ball. And that has taken a lot of pressure off Purdy, where he doesn't have to go and win the game for the most part. I think we saw during this season, during their 3-game losing streak, when they didn't have Debo or Trent Williams, the effect that that caused on the offense. But when they came back, they immediately got back to their winning ways.
Uh-huh.
So I think as long as we don't ask him, as long as they can play with a lead or at least keep the game close enough where they can continue to hand the ball off to McCaffrey, it'll take a lot of pressure off of him and allow the rest of the team to kind of not carry him or propel them to victory, but not ask him to make a big time throw in a pressure situation that he's not, he doesn't have the experience in those kind of situations like Mahomes does. So I think not asking them to do that is the 49ers' best chance to winning.
Good points. Not yeah, good points. How does it feel that your team used to? So I saw like memes and everything before the AFC Conference Championship game. You guys, I love it how you guys were the hero. Like back in what 2018, 2019, America wanted you to beat the Patriots, but now it's reverse. There was a graph
Yeah.
showing that like everyone wants the Chiefs to lose now, and everyone was rooting for the Ravens. And so how's it, and and I'm gonna quote Harvey Dent: "You either die a hero or you live long enough um, to become the enemy."
Yourself
So
become the villain.
yeah, so how's it feel?
It's funny, and it's also, I mean, that's a good thing. If everybody hates you and is rooting against you, that must mean you're doing something right. So I embrace it because I remember what it felt like to watch the Broncos and the Patriots and the Colts like ruin my year after year. The Steelers. and to now be in that position with with the best quarterback I think we've ever seen. It's definitely something I take a lot of joy in, especially when I see all the comments after the games about how the Chiefs got all the calls from the refs, and that's the only reason why we won. I just love it. Just to see other teams fans cry about why they lost the game, never admit that they just simply got beat by a better team. It's like Christmas every Monday morning.
And Nello, so this is what your third Super Bowl in the last like 12 years, correct?
Yeah, 2012 or 2013 and 2020 in this one. So
Because
three.
how old were you when the Niners went to the one in against the Ravens?
I was 14.
You were 14. All right,
Yeah,
so it's like you got to see him in your teenage years and now like your early adult years. Like, do you really want this one really bad? Third time's a charm, you think?
I do. I do. You know, it's been extremely difficult watching them lose two Super Bowls over my lifetime. And I really like the 49ers. I feel like I'm a big fan. I stay up to date even when they're losing. I got my tattoo, so to speak, when they were 2-14. So just crazy big fan. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of learned to live with losing big games because I've just gotten used to it. So the coping with the 2020 Super Bowl, I understand what I need to do now to just kind of mellow out. Maybe listen to some music, just calm down. It's just a sport. It's not that serious. So, I'm prepared for them to win. I want to see them win, but I'm also preparing myself for them to lose. So
If they do win, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go out, drink, you get another like Super Bowl champs tattoo? Like I
I
gotta
don't
know.
even no. I don't even know what I don't even maybe I'll ask Andrew, like, what do you do when your team wins the Super Bowl? I don't know.
In
So
2020, he was with me, so he didn't
yeah,
do much, but
yeah. No, I
Uh,
what I will say too, ironically, with the tattoo thing, I since last year I've been getting it removed, and it's been taking like 2 months every session, and I have my next session, my removery session on Tuesday, 2 days after the Super Bowl. So I think it's pretty funny, getting it removed just because I don't really like having a football team logo on my forearm, but I
okay,
still think it's yeah, I still think it's pretty funny that my session is a couple days after the Super Bowl.
that's fair, man. Yeah, Andrew, what did you do last year when they won it, and if they do win this year, what are you gonna do?
oh, last year when they won, I mean, I had a friend over and he was actually rooting for the Eagles, so we bet whoever lost the game would buy the winning team, the fan of the winning team, the Super Bowl champions, like the official Super Bowl champion T-shirt of that game. So by then it was my second one. I wasn't quite as excited as the first one in 2020, but to be honest with you, when they won the AFC Championship game against the Titans in 2020 to advance to the Super Bowl, I think I was most excited in that moment because it felt like this giant weight was finally taken off. Like we finally made it to the Super Bowl. Like I'd always wanted to see them play in one, and whether they'd won or lost it, just seeing them play in one was like the ultimate satisfaction for me. Um, Going back to what Nello was saying about the game against the Ravens in 2013, that 2012 season, which had just ended, that playoff run to the Super Bowl that the Niners made it to, the Chiefs went 2-14 that year, and we had the
Yep.
first pick in the draft in 2013. So it's funny looking back. I had a memory pop up on Facebook. I was at a Super Bowl party, and me and my buddy were holding up a Chiefs jersey with the number one pick on it, and and it's just funny that now 12 years later, here we are, and the Chiefs are in their fourth Super Bowl, right, in that time. So
Like
pretty
I
crazy.
keep saying, you guys are just so lucky you drafted Patrick Mahomes. Like you could have had Mitch Trubisky and then no Super Bowls. Just
I
saying.
feel bad every time I come across a Bears fan and a Bills fan because the Bears could have drafted him, but they drafted Trubisky, and then the Bills traded up their. We traded our 27th pick for their 10th pick that year to get Mahomes, and then the Bills ended up drafting Josh Allen the next season. And some of the delusional Bills fans that I come across say that they're fine with Josh Allen, that they're just as happy with Josh as they would have been with Patrick. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So here's another question. I'm glad you brought that up. I keep hearing like the comparisons of Brady and Manning with Mahomes and Allen. Who do you think really is like the Manning and Brady today? My personal opinion, I think it's Mahomes and I'll say Joe Burrow, only because Burrow at least beat him and he's been to a Super Bowl. But people keep saying it's Lamar, it's Allen. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say Burrow is the closest you could say to having a rival, but the fact that Mahomes, I think he's played a different starting quarterback in every AFC championship game that he's been to. He had Brady in the first one that they lost on that stupid D Ford's offsides call. The Titans in 2019, and then it was the Bills in 2020. It was the Bengals in 21, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
I might be off a little bit, and then Lamar. So Burrow is probably the closest one, just because Burrow's beat him once. They went back to back years, AFC Championship games against Burrow. But as far as like a true rival, like I don't know if that person has come around yet. Burrow's the
Right.
closest one, but I can't put anybody quite as high as Mahomes that actually say it's his actual rival at this point.
Fair. Nella?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Either Mahomes, Burrow, or Mahomes, Allen. But yeah, I mean that's a great point. He's played different quarterbacks in every championship game. And Burrow, he's been the only one that's beat him. So I just want to see Burrow healthy because I thought they were gonna be the Super Bowl pick this year. Started out really slow, and then they were picking up speed, and then they beat the Niners. What happens when you beat the Niners? You starting quarterback,
That's true.
after
Yeah.
the season. So, yeah.
Nello, I remember when we did our last episode, I think months like a couple months ago. I picked the Vikings and Bengals. Obviously that did not happen.
Oh, yeah.
Um and then Andrew, I know you were giving me shit for it, but what are you gonna do? So I will reveal my who I'm picking for the Super Bowl since I am I guess the neutral party here. Angie's gonna hate me, but I'm picking the Niners. And now, don't get me wrong. If your Chiefs win, I'm happy. I'm always happy for you. Like, I'm, I would hate it more if I saw like the Bills or Patriots win or the Jets win, like any of my rival teams or the Cowboys win. I'm neutral with the Chiefs because I'm not a big like hater, I guess. But the only thing that is killing me is the whole Taylor Swift bullshit. Now I'm a retired Swiftie. I used to love Taylor Swift, but when the NFL just keeps showing her freaking face every time Kelsey scores or catches a ball, or if he breathes on the freaking field, it's like, and I get it. It's all business. Like she generated 335 million ever since her first Chiefs game. Fun fact. So the fact that and besides, let somebody else win. Like I get you want your dynasties, you want your rings, you want the go conversation, but like how about let Brock win this one? Everyone
Yeah.
he's the underdog. Everyone's probably mostly gonna root for him. Like let them win. Kittle wants one. I know McCaffrey really wants it too. So
Yeah.
there's my yeah, there's my pick, there's my take, and I know you're gonna blast. And I know if the Chiefs win, Andrew, you're gonna DM me and be like, I told you should have picked right, buddy.
Well, I think at this point, it's kind of, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it's kind of silly to pick against Mahomes. I mean, you saw the road that he had to go through the AFC. It was probably one of the tougher runs that any team has had to go through to get to a Super Bowl, especially going on the road to Buffalo and at Baltimore, where most like probably 90% of national media pundits were picking, the other teams to win those games. So you tell Patrick to let Purdy win one and see what he has to say about that. But going back to your Taylor Swift comment, just a fun fact for you: through these last three playoff games, they've showed her for a grand total of 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Nearly a minute and a half during the Miami game because that was never a competitive game. There was nothing else to talk
Oh my
about, so they kept
God.
cutting to Taylor, and then about 30 seconds each for the Bills and for the Ravens. So for anybody who's getting way upset about the NFL showing Taylor over and over and over again, like one, she didn't ask for it. She's just there supporting her boyfriend. And two, like it's 30 seconds a game. I think if you see Mahomes and Kelsey on every other commercial during these games, or you see Taylor for like those 30 seconds, I think we'll survive. We'll be okay. You'll be okay, Kenny.
I'm just saying, man. Like it's just it was fine at first, but then it just got annoying for me. It's just like I just want to watch the game. I don't care if Taylor's there, but then obviously her followers are like all over it. But
Think about all the
Yeah.
money they're bringing into the NFL. These new fans.
Yeah, see, for me with that Taylor Swift thing, not even really about the games. That's a pretty cool stat that you got, Andrew. It's more so on social media, like all the posts, the NFL, ESPN, they just push that out, and then those social media posts get so much engagements from everybody hating in the comments. It's like number one post right when I go on Instagram. It's like, oh my god, I can't escape her, Mahomes, or Kelsey.
there you go. I like how you use your public affairs cap on that one though.
Yeah, that was the marketing cap.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's all business. Like the more they show that off, the more money they're gonna make. And so I mean I don't blame them, but it's again, it's just getting a little annoying for me at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
what
like
was
when they oh go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, Ken, what was with the what was your take on the Mahomes and Kelsey pulling Justin Tucker's little kicking stuff and his helmet and all that stuff?
I low
Like
key So I low
yeah,
key well because Justin Tucker was just trying to he poked the bear. He was just trying to poke the bear and obviously that was a very poor decision. Like I'm like Justin Tucker, who are you? Like I know you're a great kicker, but like that's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Why would you do that? And then I like Kelsey too because he had Mahomes' back during all this shit over it. But I get it because I think Justin Tucker was trying to get in his head, but obviously that
Did you
backfired.
did you notice that Kelsey had Mahomes' back? Who had Tucker's back? Who came into his defense
I thought
from the
was
I
he
mean the
just the
Ravens?
only one out there though?
yeah the kicker is
Nope.
just by himself kicking. I
Yeah.
don't think nobody's with him. Maybe the long
Somebody,
snapper, but
somebody had to be out there. Somebody had to be with an eye shot.
yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, I would definitely say Lamar dropped the ball on that one. Like you had everything. You had the number one seed, you had home advantage, you had the MVP for a second year in a row, but you know, when all if your best attribute is like if your running is better than your passing, then you gotta, I guess, I don't know, figure something out. But I will say that Zay Flowers got huge karma when he dove for the end zone, he fumbled. I was like, that's instant karma, buddy. That's what you got.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I
I
mean, when
think
you're talking smack to L'Jarius Sneed, who was an All-Pro snub, if we're being honest, yeah, karma bit him in the ass on that one.
Yeah, but he's a rookie, so I mean, I think he's going to be a good wide receiver for years to come. Um, but speaking of Pro Bowl, freaking NFC won today, and I know it's like nothing related to Super Bowl, but Tua was there, so yeah,
oh yeah.
he said
What's
he
a
might
what's
get
a
along. What's up?
what's a sorry, what's a Pro Bowl? I'm not familiar with that. What is a Pro Bowl exactly?
I don't know. The best players in the league compete. I don't know.
Interesting. I thought that was the Super Bowl, but whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Congratulations to Tua.
cries and dolphin and giant.
Hey, the Dolphins are my only favorite team that just need to win a championship, and then I can die peacefully. I've seen the Heat done it. I've seen the Devils do it. Yankees, obviously. The the Dolphins are my only favorite team that have not won the big game, and as soon as they do it, I will die happy. I will die peacefully. So that's just my struggle
Yeah.
personally. But if they do win it one year, I will be happy, like super super happy. But until then, I mean, we did blow it in the last stretch, but hopefully what I really hope is that the defense gets more stacked next year and then Tua just keeps doing what he's doing, like at least play enough, and then when it gets cold, like just fucking or at least get like the number one seed so you get home advantage
Yeah,
in Miami.
that's yeah.
But I do hate the whole like, but it's true though. Like when he plays when Tua and the Dolphins play in the cold, they do suck, and it's aggravating because they are like a Super Bowl contender in earlier in the year, but sadly when the year is coming to an end, it gets freaking cold. So I don't know.
Can you remind me again? They had a chance to win the division in the number 2 overall
Oh my
seed.
God.
In what game was that against? Where was it played?
It was in Miami, and yes, Josh, I know the Bills won.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Okay. I don't
Just
care
making sure
though.
it wasn't
I don't care.
crazy.
The Bills can have the title. They still lost in the divisional round. So as a Dolphins fan, at least I'm happier than a Bills and Jets fan. Bills don't even have a Super Bowl. They went to four straight and lost all of them. Like that's terrible. Jets haven't won it since freaking Joe. And God, the Jets, and Jets, it's hard to be a Jets fan because you had Aaron Rodgers and you lost him the first drive of the season. Like even if he comes back next year, I think he's starting to get out of his prime. Like it's gonna go into his like dog year. So I don't think Aaron Rodgers could be a huge impact this year coming up. So I'm happy with my that they have two Super Bowls and they got an undefeated season. So I'll take it.
So
Take what I got.
I wanted to, can I ask Nello a question now?
Go ahead.
I don't mean to take over your hosting
No, you're good. You're good.
duties. Yeah, so I just wanted to hear Nello, like, what do you think about Sunday? What do you think it's going to take for the Niners to win? And Niners win if, Chiefs win if. Like, I want to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, for sure. So, all of last week, I was really thinking that the Chiefs were going to win, and then this week, I want to say yesterday, I was like, you know what? I think the Niners actually might have a chance. And here's why I changed. And granted, I don't watch a ton of Chiefs football, um, mainly just Niners football. So if I say anything out of line, please correct me. But I would say that their offense, the Chiefs' offense, relies heavily on Kelsey, and you got the running back Pacheco and Rice. So those are the three guys. So I think Fred Warner, the Niners' inside linebacker, can cover down well on Kelsey. Granted, I'm not saying he's going to shut him out, but can at least help mitigate their passing game. And I think the other receiver can be locked down, perhaps by the ex Chiefs cornerback Mooney Ward. So I think that's a favorable matchup as well. And then Pacheco. So really, whoever the second string, third string kind of X factor on the wide receiver, I think can have a really pivotal role in the Super Bowl and can really pivot things either left or right in favor of either the Chiefs or the Niners. So I think that is really important to look at when you look at the offense versus defense of the Niners. Then you flip the ball and you look at Niners offense versus Chiefs defense. First thing first, nose tackle or D tackle, but Chris Jones, he absolutely wrecked the last Super Bowl. So that's the biggest thing is you got to double team him or limit pressure on Purdy. Not necessarily pressure on Purdy, sacking Purdy, because Purdy showcased that he's very elusive. And then you look at the secondary. I feel there's going to be a pick, maybe two picks coming by Purdy. So we'll see on that end. I think you obviously got to rely on Christian McCaffrey heavily, bubble screens to Purdy. Got to get Kittle going, all those things. So I think if the Niners limit their, if they can block Jones and they can limit turnovers and then they can bottle up Kelsey, I think they got a pretty good chance to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice note. Hey, no, did you know that when me and Andrew were watching the Super Bowl back in 2020, a lot of our colleagues were shitting on
Uh-huh.
him, saying that George Kittle was a better tight end than Travis Kelsey.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I
then
would
yeah.
yeah, I would say at that time, um, maybe Kelsey was a little bit better. Definitely 2020 Kelsey was better. Now I think Kittle's taken that number one spot back. So I think they're both exceptional tight ends. I really like how Kelsey and Mahomes is their relationship is, how they don't 50% of their concepts, they're not even route concepts. It's just, go into the open zone. So they have really good chemistry together. But yeah, I like the tight ends matchups.
Yeah, but Andrew had the
Yeah,
last laugh because yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I would say I guess what worries me about the Niners, obviously McCaffrey is a huge part of their offense. They try to get him, like the whole offense goes through him, it seems like. Um, and the Chiefs secondary, like I have a lot of trust in their secondary. So I think we can blitz and not worry about getting burned on the back end because I think our cornerbacks, I think we have the best 1-2 tandem between Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed. But I will say that Debo is probably the most physical wide receiver, physically imposing wide receiver that they've gone up against this year. Like they've shut down Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs, like any AJ Brown, any big name receiver that we've gone against this year, like they haven't really been effective against us, but I don't think they've gone against somebody quite like Debo. So that definitely is a cause for concern. And then like
Yeah.
you were saying, we have, like you said, we have our 1-2-3 guys on offense. So it's going to take somebody like Marquez Valdez-Scantling or maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Justin Watson to make a play because you guys do have really good defenders. Although I will say, I haven't really ever seen anybody shut down Kelsey one-on-one. They had this, what's his name, Kyle Hamilton for the Ravens, supposedly the best safety in the league, and Kelsey had 100 yards and 9 receptions and a touchdown in the first half last week. So I have seen Kelsey shut down. It is, with the double teaming him, like being physical with him at the line of scrimmage, and then forcing somebody else to make a play. And we do have a really good offensive line. I think we have a slight edge O line versus your D line, but our run game, they've been trying to push it, but it hasn't been like crazy effective. So if they start to panic a little bit and get away from the run game and they can't find somebody open, because Kelsey's bottled up, then it could be a long day. Just like in for 3.5 quarters in 2020, it was a slow day on offense until they finally figured something out with that. I guess it was that 3rd and 15 to Tyreek where he chucked it for 40 yards, and that kind of opened up the floodgates. But I hope it doesn't take that long this time around.
Nah, I'm really hoping it's gonna be like a nice like close game again, and then we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think another close game. Well, relatively close game. I think whoever has the ball, either on the last drive or second to last drive, will more than likely win the game.
Do we have any score predictions?
Oh,
I'll say 30-27 Niners.
30-27.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll go
high.
next.
Seems a little high. Seems a little high to me. I don't think the Chiefs gave up 30 points all year. The 30 is a little high.
Yeah, their defense, big sleeper. Like the Chiefs defense is mad good. Their coordinator's really good. So
Dagnolo, yeah. What about you, Nella? What do you think?
Well, I already told you I'm picking the Niners, 49er fan for you. I got to. I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna say 27-23 Niners win. I think their kicker is gonna miss a field goal, maybe two. He's just been missing field goals about every game. So I think that's gonna be another interesting storyline too. If the game is up to him and he misses it, that really could happen. So Jake Moody for you out of Michigan. So.
Yeah, we already saw that happen in the Chiefs-Bills game when they went wide right on that 44-yarder.
I love that Tyler Bass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just breaks your heart.
That played a big effect in the Lions game too, didn't it? Where Dan Campbell didn't trust his kicker with those 2 40-yarders, and he went for it on 4th down. And everybody kept saying take the points, but it's not like those kicks were guaranteed with a kicker that they didn't have a lot of confidence in.
Yeah, I think that's just Campbell's strategy to just roll the dice. So, but yeah, you got to take the points there.
Andrew,
that's what I'm saying. Like he took the points in the first half when he was like it was basically a chip shot field goal. Yeah. Later on, when they were like past 40 yards, and he decided, maybe we're better off going for it. Just something I noticed there. My prediction, I'm gonna say 24-17 Kansas City. My prediction.
Bold. All right.
I think our defense. Our defense has been really underrated all year. Like you kept talking about the Ravens last week, and they failed to mention that the Chiefs were the second overall in the NFL as far as points allowed per game. So, I I do think the kicking game is going to come into effect, and I like Butker a lot, and I trust him a lot within anywhere between like 40 and 55 yards. He's damn near automatic. So if it comes down to some kicks, then I do trust Butker to come through for us.
All right. All right. All right, boys. We're down to like the final minutes here. Any last remarks or, you know, shout outs?
Shout out Brock Purdy.
Mm. Mr. Irrelevant.
Yep. Yep. I am a sports card collector, and last year I bought a ton of Brock Purdy cards, so I'm feeling pretty good about my little investment. So there's that shout out.
I like it.
Buy some sports cards.
Andrew?
I want to shout out Lamar Jackson for being the consensus MVP this year, despite only having, what do you have, 3,600 throwing yards, and
Yeah.
it was a pretty mediocre year. And I saw something on TV the other day where they were going through the numbers. I think Mahomes finished, with 27 touchdowns, and he had like 14 interceptions, but they counted 6 drops in the end zone that would have been touchdowns. So that would have put him at like 33. And then they had 5 deflections off receivers' hands that got intercepted. So that would have dropped him from like 14 to 9. And those touchdowns that they would have scored had they not dropped the ball would have resulted in 3 more wins. So he could have been 14-3 with 33 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He probably would have been the MVP this year and the number one seed in the playoffs. So it's kind of funny that Lamar got it and our receivers were dropping passes all year until the playoffs. Thank God. So hopefully they've got that part figured out. So looking forward to a close one on Sunday. I think it's gonna be close regardless, but it'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. We get it, Andrew. You're salty, even though you have Super Bowls. All right, guys. Thank you again for your time for doing this. We'll catch you hopefully. I do my episodes now spontaneously or whenever I have time. But again, thank you for your time, and we'll see who wins. All right. Without ado, we're saying good night. Ciao.